Okay. Welcome. Hello, Cat. Welcome to episode 2 of Three Hopes, the Black Eagles route. I am starting a little bit early today, and this is an off stream because I refuse to wait to play this game. We might be going for 6 hours today. give or take. Let's get started. Oh, Ladislava. She only appeared as an enemy in all the routes that I played in Three Houses. I think she shows up as an ally in Crimson Flower, but I never did that. I just couldn't bring myself to go through with the stupidity that is that choice. You basically only have one reason to choose Edelgard, and that's that Byleth is foolishly and hopelessly in love with Edelgard. And that's the only justification you have.
If you please.
Oops. Sorry about that. Did not realize that my speakers were still on. I believe this is the first time we've met. My name is Ladislava. I serve as one of Lady Edelgard's personal guards and will be assisting with the entry into the capital. I believe we will be working separately tomorrow, so I trust you will take excellent care of her. Yup.
If you would, do you have a moment?
We'll be entering Embar tomorrow, so rest up and restore your strength. That bad, huh? Yes, we're expecting it to be quite the battle, but I look forward to seeing what you can do. Sounds rough. Who are we fighting? Oh, no one of particular importance or concern. Still, I prefer to wait a little while before disclosing that information. In that case, I'll make sure my gear's ready. Thank you. Oh, and perhaps now might be a good time to speak with the others. Seeing you calm and collected should help soothe the nerves of any who are anxious in the shadow of battle. You got it.
Excuse me. Over here.
Ah, Monica, the person who was dead in the first game and now is somehow alive. This is just very strange to me. Ah, perfect timing. I wanted to thank you again. I meant to earlier, of course, but things have been quite hectic recently. Kat, in the first game, in Three Houses, Monica gets replaced by a shapeshifter who basically kills her and wears her face as a student in the academy. The strange thing about Three Hopes is that not only is Byleth not a teacher at Garreg Mach Monastery like she was in Three Houses, Monica is alive. And we actually rescued her from the shapeshifter before she could be murdered. And while Lady Edelgard unfortunately did not tell me every single detail, it sounds like you played a big part in my rescue. So thank you for that. I mean it. Just doing my job.
I agree.
Well then, I'm expecting even greater things from you once we reach Embar. Oh boy. This game is basically a completely separate timeline. Because our character is dead in Three Houses. Our character did not exist in Three Houses. I do not wish to be speaking out of turn, but Lady Edelgard is surely having many enemies.
My word is a bond.
When we arrive in Embar, I will be fighting to my utmost. Fight not just for the Empire, but for Bridget as well. They have fates that are intertwining. I don't know exactly what's going on here, but they hired me to do a job, and that's what I'm gonna do. Especially if everyone is relying on me. Your being here is reassuring. Now let us be fighting together and bringing about victory. In case you didn't know, the reason Petra speaks a little odd is because she does not speak the common tongue very well. This is her second language.
Well,
I can't put my finger on why, but I have a very strange feeling about all this. Maybe it's because I wasn't expecting to return to the capital this year. Isn't the group we're going with a little unusual, too? Ferdy, Caspar, Lynn, and Byrne won't be joining us. I'm surprised that most of the children of the 6 great noble families stayed back at Garrett Mock. Oh, but of course Hubie had to tag along. Anyway, it really makes you wonder who exactly will be fighting. I love Dorothea too. Is Dorothea the best girl in Black Eagles, or does that belong to Edelgard? I am personally at a loss. I don't know if I would consider which one I will be considering best girl.
If I may.
Given your past, I hardly think it necessary for me to ask after your readiness for battle. We will be counting on you in Anbar. Be the sword in Lady Edelgard's hands and smite her foes. Also, you should know that victory in tomorrow's battle will hold great significance for yourself as well.
Let's see.
Oh, absolutely. There's Yuritsa. I have a contract. That's the only reason I'm here.
So basically...
So is this contract separate from your work at the Academy? Yes. Alright, I better get some rest before the fighting kicks off. Oh, I could have dashed all along. Thank you for speaking with everyone.
What do you think?
It's grown quite late. You should rest up for tomorrow. Rest and prepare for battle. Yeah, especially since there's nothing that I can do in camp just yet.
What? Solon's been unmasked.
Finally, I get to listen to cinematics again.
Yes, my lord. Rooted right out of the monastery.
First Kranya's debacle and now this. What in the world is going on?
I know not, my lord. What are we to do?
Keep our composure for a start. Send word to the kingdom and see that Cleobulus is informed. Tell him to remain prudent. If he must go into hiding, so be it.
At once, my lord.
Yes?
Lord Regent, I have urgent tidings to report.
You may enter.
Forgive the intrusion, my lord, but we just learned the Knights of Seros march on Enbar. Their purpose is unclear, but they will arrive by morning. We've been turning ourselves upside down to make ready.
The Knights of Seros? No. Do you think...
There's only one person who could be behind it. How dare she bare her fangs at us? They may already be within the palace walls. Mobilize the guards and search. If anyone so much as looks at you askance, kill them on the spot.
Yes, my lord.
Her Highness has given the signal, Valdemar.
Count Burgley's. Oh, we never get to see him in Three Houses. We only get to hear about him. Good lord. Age has not been kind to him.
Already? I had thought they were still negotiating. Things are moving rather quickly.
Count Hevering. I'm gonna guess by the hair that is, that he's related to Linhardt.
The situation must have changed. Our children are still at Garrick Mock, after all.
Whose voice is that? I know it, but who?
I admire how strong she's become. I just wish we'd had more time to appraise her competence.
Well, if she's caught us with our breeches down, imagine how they feel.
I think this is the... Bato! That's who that guy is. That's the voice actor of Bato from the English dub of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
I can't wait to see the confused look on those dastards' faces. Oh, I'm going to enjoy every second of this.
I love it! We get Bato on our side.
As if you'd be content to watch. Once the battle starts, you'll be knee-deep in gore with all the rest. Which means I'll have to make it clear where I stand. We can't afford to tear the Ministry apart by having the pen and sword at odds.
He does look a little bit.
These are your instructions. I imagine they may not come as a surprise to many of you.
Wait, Vladimir? Do you mean Vesemir? I don't remember a Vladimir.
For some time now, Enbar Palace has been infested with the same darkness you saw in Tomas.
You do fail. Oh my gosh. The Witcher fan, the Witcher fanatic doesn't remember it's Vesemir, not Vladimir.
They have made a puppet of the Emperor and plot with disloyal subjects to seize control of the Empire. Our objective is to stamp these traitors out, seize the palace, and reclaim the Empire for our own.
You realize it's just us, right, 80? That sounds kind of impossible. Still, the Empire is having many soldiers. Perhaps you could be changing their minds?
Those who can be won over will be. And the realization they are fighting the Imperial Princess ought to dull the others' blades. We have also secured the cooperation of several nobles inside the palace.
Very impressive, Your Highness. And very you. I suppose all that remains is to head inside and take care of business.
Just you watch. We'll take them all down and have the bards singing our names by nightfall.
So here we are, ready to deal a masterstroke to the heart of the mighty Empire. Life with you certainly isn't boring.
We'll infiltrate the palace through the rear gate, then apprehend Lord Arundel and Duke Ire. From there, we'll secure the palace's strategic positions, eliminating all resistance we encounter along the way.
If that is our plan, then time cannot be wasted.
You can hear them scrambling in the palace from here. Let's not wait for them to find their bearings.
Lead the way, Your Highness. Oh, and make sure to keep her safe, Hubert. You know every square inch of that place, after all.
Just mind you don't fall prey to your own distractions.
These villains have had free run of my house for too long. Today, I take it all back.
Defeat Duke Ire and Lord Arundel. Okay. It has been a long week. You're not the only one, Cat. Which units to deploy? Yep. Units placed in the light blue grid will only be available to give orders to. Right, you can't control them if they're just in the light blue grid. Okay, let's take a look at what is available. So there's tons of lances. We definitely need an axe user. Actually, there's so many lances. But I have to deploy my own unit, so Count Hevering. Yarn Greither, he literally is just using his fist. Okay. Interesting. Yep. Give me the Venom Edge. Don't have any battalions yet. Oh, the exclamation marks show how many of each are in? Okay. Edelgard's gonna see a lot of action here. Okay. In that case... Oh, I can't change the deployment there. I don't know why they gave me the option to change the deployment when I can't actually use it. Okay, we'll keep Petra there. Edelgard needs to come down here. Switch them up. Okay, I don't think I can do anything else. Convoy. Change abilities, change classes. $13 to complete. Enemies defeated 1,000. Damage taken 40%. Let's fight. Don't have anything else to do at the moment.
It was easy enough slipping in the back. The knight's unexpected visit must have thrown the court into disarray. I will gladly handle this.
Ba ba ba.
I am here to aid you. Leave this one to me. Looks like you could use some help.
Right then. You appear to need assistance.
In that case, we'd best find and apprehend Duke Ire and Lord Arendelle before they grow wise to our schemes.
Watch this!
Duke Ire should be in the throne room. We'll enter through the back way. Any final...
Time to kick some ass.
Yes, that way he will never see our coming. But we must hurry.
The guards along the way are in Duke Ire's employ, so deal with them as you must.
Let's do this!
Material storehouse. God, I love the music. Wind-torn status. Suffer heavy damage after being launched in the air. Interesting. Oh, wrong button.
must learn. I'll take over.
Level up.
Gotta keep aiming higher.
Reach the throne room.
Surrender, Duke Ire.
What in the... No! Seal the gate now!
Sealed the main gate.
This complicates things. We'll have to cut around through the gardens.
Send soldiers to the gardens! I want a sword on every path between myself and those rats! I feel no mercy.
The man is so desperate he doesn't realize he's already lost. So let us break through and prove it to him.
Physical attacks. Magic attacks. Yep.
I will gladly handle this.
Let me take control of her.
Here I go. They must learn who they're up against.
Hey, Royal. We are already in the next map, which is basically fucking up the Royal Palace in Enbar.
Orders received. I have this.
Oop, wrong way. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, I will be going for a long time today.
For Lady Edelgard. Edie, no offense, but what's to stop him from running away?
Oh, I already solved that particular problem.
Okay, got that. Where's the exit? There's the exit. Okay, push through.
Ministers. Show the Duke your true allegiance lies with the Empire.
I'm ready.
My turn?
Leopold von
Apologies, Ludwig,
Verglis.
but if you want to leave, it'll have to be through me.
And if you want back in, you must go through me. Although I must seem like nothing in comparison to that bear at the front gates.
I will gladly handle this. Orders received.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
killing all the dads, taking every tradition in your own hands.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Okay, Iron Lance. Can't go there yet. I wonder, am I able to pick that lock yet?
Leave this one to me.
Nope.
I'm swapping in.
You would turn on me now. Preposterous.
Wait, so those are the nobles you won over? Where'd you find the time to orchestrate that?
Now that we have Duke Ire pinned down, let us clip his wings for good.
This stronghold will fall.
I'm having fun.
We are fighting on the side of Count Burgles.
Okay. Time to reevaluate.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Go attack that.
Leave this one to me.
Attack.
That's my cue.
Here I go. No mistake. They must learn who they're up against.
I will gladly handle this. I am here to aid you.
Keep defending. Keep. There's the key. You definitely cannot fight.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Go attack.
No. You're still outnumbered. And this isn't done until I say it is.
See you later, Royal.
It's finished, Prime Minister. Lay down your arms and surrender peacefully.
Use the fire orbs! I don't care if you bring the palace down around us. Just do it!
Oh, shit.
They're shooting at us? Hard work created this. Should probably do something about that.
Okay, Edelgard.
No, they must learn who they're
Take
up
that
against.
guy out.
I will gladly handle this.
Monica, go take out the
Orders received.
stronghold captain.
Leave this one to me. That's my cue.
Okay.
I'd rather be attacking than defending, but I still find this whole affair to be very annoying.
I'm bringing it down.
Yeah!
I must get stronger.
Musical orb?
There! That should stop those fire orbs from, well, firing.
Fire orbs from, well, firing. Can I tell who has the, I guess I can't. I can't tell who has the key. Okay, you're a fortress knight.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must
Attack
learn
him.
who they're up against. Begin. I am advancing.
Okay. And then I will take control
Orders
of her.
received. I have this.
There you are. Oh wait, no, you're someone else.
The ambitions of Ludwig von Eyre won't be floated by the likes of you.
Gotcha.
I must regain what I've lost.
How can this be? I have riches, power. I am as great as a man can be.
Well done, everyone. That just leaves Lord Arundel.
Yes, but he is the one we need to worry about. Keep moving and remain alert.
Duke Eyre's been captured already. The wretch didn't even have the grace to buy me some time.
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt them talking. Okay. What do we have now? Fighter? Fighter. Fighter. Tons of axemen. Okay.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Attack.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Leave this one to me. Looks like you could use some help.
I've got this.
I will gladly handle this.
Who do I want her to defend? Let's have her guard
I'm here to
Petra.
aid you. Take a breather.
Well, I've little interest in facing Burgley. So it's time for me to deploy my wild card.
I knew it was too easy.
Dark magic. Find the casters and strike them down so we might dispel this sorcery.
Okay, where are you, Petra?
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
I will gladly handle this.
And Monica, go take
Orders
care of that
received.
knight.
Right then. Let us go to work.
Hubert, take care of that knight.
I will see my duty done.
Come Come, Voldemort. You and I can split up and sweep the palace.
A fine idea, Leopold. Let us make clear
Wait, where
to
am I
these
going?
fell warlocks that they are most unwelcome in this place.
When poisoned, you will take damage over a set amount of time.
I'm afraid to consider how we'd stand without those two on our side.
Coming in for the kill.
Keep it up. We must eliminate the mages.
I will gladly
Okay.
handle this.
You go over here
I'm
and
here to
support
aid you.
Edelgard.
Begin.
Petra, go take
The Sky Spirit watches
that
over me.
outpost.
Not a problem.
Actually, I'll probably guide Petra.
I've got this. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
And then Hubert.
Let us go to work. You appear to need assistance.
Guard
Here I go.
Edelgard. Edelgard,
No
go take.
They must learn who... Is it my turn?
These are definitely the same people who kidnapped me.
I can still fight. No, not yet.
Gotcha.
It's not over.
People are all magic and no muscle. I'll snap you like twigs.
You know, it may benefit us to learn more about this dark magic.
No, not yet.
My goodness. The enemies are certainly more tanky in this game. The AI is not great.
No, not yet.
I am having energy. Away! Be praying now.
Hard work
Swordsman.
created this.
Going up. Since I don't know if there's going to be a grinding mechanic in this, I'm going to try and split the levels up pretty evenly.
Still fight.
Gotcha! All mysterious mages down.
The barrier should dissipate now.
That still didn't stop them. It seems they came prepared for any eventuality.
Quickly now! We need to reach Lord Arundel before he slips through our fingers.
Yep.
Any who sided with Duke Ire or Lord Arundel and oppressed Her Highness will receive no quarter from us.
Cupid, you finally said something I like. Now let's go stamp them out.
Oh. Okay. My character is kind of a mage killer, so I think I will go with her to take that out.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over
Although,
me.
the piano is
Leave
kind
this
of
one to
weird.
me. That's my cue. I will gladly handle this. I am here to aid you.
Begin.
Let's have you attack
The
this
Sky Spirit watches over me.
outpost first. And then
Here I go.
Edelgard,
They must
take
learn
on
who
the
they're up
spear
against.
guy.
I've got my turn.
Let's take out the rest of the places first. Don't want to get ahead of myself.
Wretched vermin.
That takes care of the cleanup. I think Her Highness should be very pleased with me indeed.
Whether or not she is pleased with you should be of secondary concern. The most important matter is what benefits Lady Edelgard.
I admire your tenacity. However, you clearly have no concept of how terrifying I can be.
Banish the darkness, and the terror will fade as well.
Here it comes! Out of the way! You're done! Sorry, what?
No! I have to act.
Gotcha. Way too easy.
I know when I am bested.
Not happening!
We are the darkness itself, and the darkness cannot be slain.
Okay, Mr. Edgy.
He escaped. Cowardly of him. But we can take comfort in our victory either way.
I guess.
Now what?
Huh? Are you kidding me? When mercs want to celebrate a win, we slap our open palms together, like that.
Edelgard doesn't know what a high
Commendable
five
victory,
is.
Lady
How cute.
Edelgard.
Thank you, Hubert. Still, I don't much like how those rats managed to keep skittering away.
I imagine that guy's pretty close with Kranya and Tomas, since he shapeshifted and all.
Yes. They are all part of a clandestine organization attempting to conquer Fodlan from the shadows. Those who slither in the dark.
Huh. Never heard of them.
So, what is the plan now, Your Highness?
We make ready for my coronation. Hubert, gather everyone in the throne room.
At once, Your Highness.
Oh, this is wonderful! Your Highness is going to become Your Majesty!
Yes, but first I must speak with the Minister of Domestic Affairs, as well as the other counts. Also, I need you to go to the Knights of Seros. I wasn't expecting all of you this soon. What are you doing here?
We demand an explanation. You arrested my father, Edelgard. How could you do such a thing without discussing it with me first?
I'm probably not getting the finer points here, but you basically defeated both my father and Ferdinand's. Is that right?
I wasn't fighting your father, Caspar. He was aiding me, as was Count Hevering.
So, what about my father? Did you arrest him?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, okay.
Look, I'm sure you have your reasons for all of this. But maybe you should sit down and talk us through it.
And I intend to. We'll reconvene later and clear everything up then. Monica, join me. We'll talk as we go.
Didn't quite do it fast enough for completion time. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm just not... I don't have enough power. Which was not something that I would ever say in the original Warriors game. Intermediate seal, though.
I must regain what I've lost.
I will say this, I am rather glad, though, that they kicked up the difficulty when it comes to getting S rank. That said, I think next time I go to... the next route I try after this one, I'll probably bump it up to hard. Because this isn't like normal mode, regular Fire Emblem. This is like...
get stronger.
This is still pretty easy.
Hard work created this. Growth is a part of life.
Any experience is worth having.
Okay.
Witness Brigid Pride.
Slowly but surely maxing out these classes.
I'll surely put this to good use.
D-Tomes, gain trust.
What a fascinating power.
Spirited Seas. Interesting.
I work to grow.
Speed +2. Nice.
I imagine this will serve me well.
Oh, nice. A Venom Edge Tome. I'm not sure how that works. Ah, 2 intermediate seals.
And you say I have 2 years to complete these preparations.
In cooperation with Count Hevering, of course. You and Hubert can finalize the details later. As I won't be choosing a prime minister for some time, I realize this may result in extra work for you. However, that also means more latitude to do things as you see fit, so long as you ensure we're prepared for a 5-year war.
I will not rest until I discover a solution, Your Highness. So long as our military leaders don't tread on my toes, I shouldn't have too much difficulty.
For something this big, you better believe we'll have plenty of need for resources. Leave it to a narrow-minded quill carrier like you to call that treading on your toes.
In Her Majesty's name, I will decide what is and isn't appropriate regarding your needs. Also, anyone would seem narrow-minded when compared to a swollen-headed juggernaut such as yourself.
A juggernaut, huh? Yeah, I like the sound of that.
I see someone allowed his sarcasm lessons to lapse.
Moving on. Lord Arundel's followers will doubtless attempt to interfere, so we'll need to keep a close eye on them. Once Count Varley joins us, we can discuss the matter I mentioned further.
It seems he's just arrived, Your Majesty.
Finally get to see Bernadetta's schmuck of a father.
Apologies for my tardiness. Gregoire von Varley at the court service. My, but attendance seems light. Where is the Lord Regent and the rest of our noble Six?
Duke Ire stands accused of treason and has been dismissed as Prime Minister. He currently awaits judgment in one of our finer dungeons. Lord Arundel is a fugitive from the same crime and will be taken in soon. Dead or alive, it makes no difference.
Well, this is a rather shocking turn of events. I had no idea Ludwig was capable of such things. Still, rest assured that I am nothing like him.
Indeed. And as for the others, Duke Gert was dispatched to Western Fodland to conduct negotiations. And my father, the late Marquis Vestra, perished in the struggle to capture Duke Ire. Which makes me the new Marquis Vestra, and Minister of the Imperial Household.
I.e., Hubert murdered him and took his position.
Ah.
You've nothing to fear, Count Varley. Her Majesty intends to bestow a great honor upon you.
Majesty? Wait, you mean...
The title hasn't been formalized just yet, but as it stands, you should view it as a foregone conclusion. More importantly, Count Varley, there is a very important position I wish for you to fill. I intend to rebuild the Southern Church, and who better to be the bishop than you, our Minister of Religious Affairs? I will make my case to the Archbishop personally.
Thankfully, Lord Arundel and his men are no longer around to obstruct such a move.
You would bestow such a position on me? Make no mistake, it is a great honor, but are you certain?
Very. Now then, your first duty in the role will be to oversee my coronation. Do not fail me, Bishop. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. Are you enjoying your stay at the palace?
More than I expected, though I do feel a bit out of place here.
Understandable. Everyone here either is a noble themselves or serves one. However, that will change. As Emperor, I plan to end discrimination based on social status. Everyone will have a chance to rise to the top, whether they are born into the aristocracy or not.
No more nobles or commoners, huh? That does sound pretty great. I'll be impressed if you can actually pull it off.
Oh, I will. But at the moment, I have a proposition for you.
Go on.
We've successfully expunged the Prime Minister and the rest of that puppet government. But a certain amount of unrest is unavoidable, which means I must remain here in the capital. In other words, I can't go back to Garrick Mach and continue my studies.
What about the others?
Our noble families will be in disarray as we transition to my system and new heads of household take power. Of course, some, like Dorothea, are not as affected as the other students. But all of them have offered to stay and help rather than return to the monastery without us. If you'd be willing to do the same, I'd like to offer you a top post in my new military.
Now there's a tantalizing offer. It's not like you have any real obligation to the church. Plus, it sounds like quite the thrill.
I'm more of a hired sword than an officer.
Which is why you're perfect. Hubert wants to recruit mercenaries such as yourself and form a new unit. I can't put some noble in command of them. That would be ill-advised. But they would listen to a capable fighter such as you. You're Hubert's first and only choice.
I don't know if I really have the experience for it. But if you have that much faith in me, I won't let you down.
Having deposed Lord Arundel and Duke Ire, Edelgard quickly arranges for her coronation, her eyes now fixed firmly on the monumental task laid out before her. All the while, the kingdom of Fargus is thrown into unrest over the right of succession, while the Leicester Alliance finds themselves pitted against an invading Almiran horde.
Okay.
Realizing the troubles of Fodlan will fall squarely on her young students' shoulders, Archbishop Rhea closes the Officers' Academy and permits her charges to return home.
So that's the end of the demo then. Scarlet Blaze.
Scarlet Blaze. The struggle commences.
Okay, now we get beyond the demo.
It is
Hi,
the
Kyle.
end of
Welcome.
1181. 2 years have passed since the Officers' Academy closed its doors. Having ascended the throne of Adrestia, Edelgard has begun to enact sweeping change. The Holy Kingdom of Fargus now calls Dimitri its king, while Claude reigns over the Leicester Alliance. All 3 house leaders have found their wings as rulers of a new generation. With the whole of Fodlan still reeling from these rapid changes, Edelgard decides the time has come to usher in a new era.
Are you still gonna be...
Fodlan, the Empire will stand by no longer.
Oh, fuck. She's still an idiot! Even in 3 Hopes, she's still an idiot!
Together, we rise against a church that has become steeped in deception and corruption. The church has used their doctrine to deny you power and reshape Fodlan as they see fit. They thrust upon you the illusion of nobility in order to oppress who they choose, and they helped create the Kingdom and Alliance as a pretext for war. Finally, they teased you with the promise of salvation from pain they themselves inflicted, and did so in the name of their own profit. Well, I say no more. The Empire has severed herself from their hypocrisy by restoring the Southern Church and nurturing her people's well-being. And today, we purge the world of their evil forever. We will retake Garrigmach from the Central Church and stamp out any nobles who abet its depravity. By my title as Emperor Edelgard von Hresfeld of Adrestia, I hereby declare war against the false Church of Seros.
Oh boy.
The past 2 years have flown by in but the blink of an eye.
And while they felt short, they were certainly eventful. The Empire has come far since we removed Arundel from power. We reformed the government, remedied our diplomatic troubles, and bolstered our military.
And most significantly, we gave strength to the Southern Church, creating the perfect wedge against the Church of Seros. A shame our bishop has become the target of relentless censure as a result. Why, the Central Church even targeted him for assassination. Poor Count Varley. It could not have happened to a finer man.
And then there's the matter of Lord Arundel. What are he and his minions up to now?
Slithering in the shadows of Fodlan, much as they have done for centuries. It will not be easy to drag such adept skulkers into the light.
Perhaps not. Then for now, let's remain focused on the formidable adversary ahead.
Did you call us here, Edelgard? It's good to see so many familiar faces.
I did, and thank you for coming. This may be the first time I've seen all of you in the same room since the Officers' Academy closed.
Likely, yes. We have all been rather busy marching down the separate paths life laid out for us.
Or most of us have, anyway. Others, such as myself, managed to eschew work in favor of a more leisurely existence.
Hey! I was working hard at staying in my room, but still. Father's been dreadfully busy, so he's never home. Which has been pretty nice, actually.
I was returning home to Bridget. I finished my task, and now I have been returned here.
Well enough. Now, as you know, the Empire will launch its attack on Garreg Mach in the coming days. Emperor Edelgard will lead the invasion personally, and wishes for those present to form the backbone of her army.
And as it has been some time since Adrestia had an army under the direct command of the Emperor, I fear we currently lack for officers. I trust each of you, and can think of no candidates better suited for the job. Will you do this for me?
So you've got other plans for my father's army, I take it? Well then count me in. I'm ready to go whenever.
I would have been happy with a life serving you here in the capital. But if war is coming, I want to see it through myself. I'll go wherever you go, Your Majesty.
Are you sure you want me? I've kept up my training, but this is an important battle.
We are not such fools as to squander a powerful asset such as yourself.
I've high hopes for you, and trust you will prove the wisdom of my decision.
Right. I'll do my best.
Be certain to save some of your hopes for me, because I most assuredly have what it takes to succeed. New Empire Army, move out!
I skipped over it.
Ferdinand, kindly leave the commanding and naming to me.
God, I miss Byleth already. Telling Edelgard, what the fuck? Your tent is rather nice, isn't it? I suppose it pays to be a commander. You said it. Things are totally different here compared to all the small-time outfits I used to run with. Now I've got my own space where I can kick back and keep all my stuff in order. It's a separate timeline where Byleth does not ever become a professor at the monastery. And unfortunately, because Byleth is not there, the lords aren't tempered into better people, and they're still barreling toward the same fate they had in Three Houses, only without Byleth to guide them down a better path. So this world's fucked. This probably means they expect a lot from you, more than your title implies, I would imagine. Near the desk to change appearance. And view documents.
Reminds me.
Yeesh, this camp is something else. Did you see how many merchants we've got?
How tiresome.
Are you finished sightseeing yet? I believe I heard your employer calling for you. Excuse me. Base camp is where you prepare for battle. You can interact with your allies and make use of all kinds of facilities. Manuela is now playable. Yuritsa is now playable. Ferdinand has rejoined you. All the other students? The records hall has been unlocked. An award is available. What do you mean an award is available? Okay, so what is change appearance? By selecting the change blah 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 blah. Interesting. Honestly, I prefer the Academy for my character, but I'll stick with War for a bit. Hubert's a scruffy lad. Ah, fair point. Class-based. Okay. War Style 2 is with the mask. That's too flowery. I'll go with class-based for her. Too flowery. Now that fits Dorothea. Well, let's leave that unique. Wait, why does he have two gauntlets? Two sets of gauntlets, one on his hips and one on his hands. That's funny. Interesting. Okay. Spend renown. Oh. Oh no! Oh no! Oh boy. I'm gonna be in this game for a long time. It has New Game Plus shit. View documents. There are no documents to view. Oh. War is such a human enterprise. In that sense, we are very much the same as those on the other side. But we cannot coexist, so we are determined to kill each other. I suppose that's the nature of this beast. You think it's strange to see me here after 2 years. Well, I was once an Imperial commander. Yeah, I figured as much. So you've been fighting for the Emperor all this time, just like you did at the battle in Embar,
Yes.
right? Yes.
How are your feelings? That is all.
I have been having many duties in my last 2 years, away from the Empire. But they are all finished now, which means I am able to take part in the fighting. I am believing that this battle will lead to peace and prospering for Brigid. Good to hear. I'll be counting on you, Petra. I am believing that this is a huge mistake, and Edelgard needs to be slapped in the face again. Fucking again. Hello, my friend. My, it's been quite some time.
Quite.
Like Manuela, I was called here by Edelgard. But that said, I have been tasked with protecting the Great Bridge of Mirrodin, along with Ladislava.
Please.
As such, I won't be going to Garrett Mock, so I hope you can take care of things there.
Good day.
I hope you're doing well, as I am this day. It seems you and I have both been appointed as generals during the last 2 years.
We will succeed.
Well, let's fight. Let's each fight to our utmost so we do not dishonor Her Majesty. Oh. Someone. There. Bernadetta. What am I even doing here? I just wanted to stay cooped up in the manor, especially now that Father's gone. But then I was talking to Edelgard and boom, I got some stupid urge to fight, and here I am. Hey, sometimes you have to follow your heart, right? Just try not to die. Ugh, Bernie, you and your stupid heart. Oh, wait. I can talk to these? Oh! It's this girl! Alright, that's taken care of. What's next? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you need something? As you can see, I'm pretty busy at the moment. See, my brother Randolph is also part of this army, so I have to do my job perfectly for his sake. Oh, I just remember you going crazy and trying to kill Dimitri, and the Blue Lions are out.
Look who has arrived. As it happens...
Just between you and I've had my share of worries these past 2 years. As you know, my father found himself in his situation due to Edelgard. Oh well, things are what they are, and I will work tirelessly to achieve greatness.
Right on.
I'm looking to do the same, so let's do this thing together.
Right.
Yes, if you have a great deal of promise, so let us go forth as one.
Well, hi.
If you're ever injured, let me know and I'll see you healed up in no time. Oh, and I can take care of wounds of the heart as well as wounds of the body. Emotional injuries can be even worse than physical ones during times of war. I wanted to... That sounds a bit dodgy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something about the way you're saying that feels a little dodgy, but it's good to have you around. Oh, you're going to love it. After the closure of the Officers' Academy, Edelgard got in touch and asked me to run this infirmary. And although it does put me in opposition to Garrett Mach, I simply can't turn that woman down. I really should learn to say no sometime. I hope I see the Archbishop's right-hand man, Sedith, or Thunder Catherine at Garrett Mach.
Well?
They've got tons of other strong fighters, too, and I can't wait to take them all on. How about you?
Right on.
Oh, you know it. The more foes I take out, the bigger my name gets. Yeah? Well, look sharp, because I'll be keeping score. Darn it, I tried to butter him up. Didn't work. It's annoying when you don't report in once you've finished a task, Linhart. Very annoying. Furthermore, I have any number of things I need from you whenever you're not busy, which is pretty much always.
Not happening.
But I am busy resting. Now please leave me be. But Her Majesty asked me to put you to work.
That reminds me.
I'm pretty sure I saw you sleeping the day away just a little while ago, Linhart. Monica's right, it's time to pull your weight. See, Linhart, everyone's on to you. You two will never understand me.
Not happening.
Okay. Only got a couple more people to talk to. Dorothea. I've talked a lot with Edie, so I long imagined what it might be like when this day finally came. But now that it's here, I'm worried. Our target is Garrett Mach, which means we're likely to encounter a lot of people we know.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's hard to fight people you know. You sure you want to take part?
No way.
I came here to fight, and that's what I'm going to do. Ba, 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 ba. Randolph.
Oh, look who it is.
Greetings, you are Natsume, yes? I am Randolph von Bergles. Though we are not related by blood, I am nonetheless Caspar's uncle.
Right.
I hear you know your way around the battlefield. I look forward to seeing what we can both do in service to our grand empire. You could start by smacking Edelgard. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but please do it.
Well. Right.
The battle has begun at last, our struggle to the death against the Central Church. I pray your work these past 2 years will prove helpful to our cause.
Let me think.
First, we mean to conquer the territory of the Alliance's Viscount Burgundy. He is a minor lord east of Garrick Mach, who is strongly influenced by the Church. Okay. Oh, that's where the reward is. Here's where we keep track of all the achievements you complete. We've got rewards ready to give out based on how many achievements you rack up. So get out there and start doing stuff. Hello, person who breaks the fourth wall.
Well, how'd it go?
Okay. Interesting. Oh my god. That's a lot of achievements. Okay.
Any result's a good result.
We're still figuring out our strategy. You should go and make sure you're fully prepared. Okay, I don't have that option yet. Convoy. Think convoy. Yes, convoy. Morale. Oh yeah, oh no, they're actually gonna have lectures? Oh no! Oh no! Okay. What do I even have available? Let's check the storehouse and the armory first before I go to the trouble. Ah, okay, I do have some extras. That's still, it's still a sacred weapon, but it looks nothing like a mirror like she used to wield in Three Houses. Weird. Okay, there are definitely some tomes I can give out. Windcaller's Genesis. Link to the Crest of Lamine may nullify damage. Okay. First up, Ferdinand. Put that one. I believe I saw... No, I did not. Okay. Bernadetta, you get a new bow. Manuela is already level 6, so we're not going to use her until we can get some of the others up and running. Hubert, level 3. Boost consecutive hits. Hang on. Okay, phone call is over. Let's get going. Oh, interesting. A register of prominent noble houses of the Adrestian Empire. This document is expressly for official use by the Church of Seros. Students are forbidden to remove or peruse this documentation. The most distinguished noble house of the Empire, tracing its roots back all the way to the great Emperor Wilhelm, governing house for 1100 years. In addition to the first emperor, its lineage is also traced back to Saint Seros herself, which is why generations of emperors are believed to bear the crest of Seros. Besides an Embar, the imperial capital, until the insurrection of the Seven, stripped away by the nobility. In recent years, a series of misfortune has plagued the story's house. Some believe dark clouds hover over the future. A house of dukes possessing great power. We're back on House Ire. Led the insurrection of the Seven, and in many ways holds the true power governing the Empire. House of Marquise without a domain, existing in the shadow of House Restfield. In addition to managing the darker tasks of the Empire, it is responsible for the Emperor's periphery affairs, including coordinating such things as ceremonies, rituals, Imperial consorts, and the Imperial Guard. Evering. Lies in the Ogma Mountains. Burgleys, Ministry of Military Affairs. Ministry of Religion. Okay. A bunch of lore.
Do you have a moment?
Welcome back, Natsumi. Let's apprise you of our plans going forward.
What do you think?
Take a look at this map. Our troops are preparing to advance from camp, which is located here. And our destination, Garrug Mach, is over here. Now, the intervening noble territories have ties to the church. They will most certainly try to stop us. We'll have to route these lands in succession as we make our way to Garrug Mach. We cannot let our guard down with any of our opponents. Be sure to prepare as thoroughly as possible. Have you looked around the camp yet? Feel free to make use of the training grounds in the marketplace.
If you would.
I have made arrangements so that you can improve your weapons and prepare for battle. Okay, now I can check the camp facilities. Oh, you're not the weapons guy. Moving within the camp. Oh, that's going to be much faster. Training grounds. Here you can train your mind and body and gain proficiency in new classes. Never hurts to be prepared. I'm sure I'll be seeing you often. Use the training grounds to improve your units. Make use of the following options. Train, increase class level. Level up / reset. Raise or resets a unit's level. Acquire class, attain certifications for a new class, mock battle, try out a unit or class.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Interesting. Acquire class. Master the corresponding subordinate class. Acquires seal. Okay. Only Manuela is ready to advance. I think I'll hold off on that. Okay, that's where you pay money.
With proper training, you'll be unstoppable.
Now, armor. Welcome. Take a gander at all our wondrous weapons.
Welcome.
Iron gauntlets. Okay, so there's nothing that I can really buy here yet. I can sell equipment, though. I might want to hold off on that, though, just in case. Because I seem to recall from the original Warriors that you used other weapons as fodder to upgrade.
Come back soon.
So let's go take a look at the item. Oh, item shopkeeper. I've got plenty of goods that will surely come in handy. I look forward to doing business with you. Okay.
I carry a little of everything here.
Intermediate seals. I own 6 though, so I'm not hurting for them. And then this is where you buy gifts. I bet I can sell my bullion here. Yes, I can.
Hope to see you again soon.
We've got the bare necessities at least. Time to get to work. Well...
Time to work you into shape.
It looks like this is only devoted to training, this stamina bar. We'll train as pair. Oh, hang on. Let me read this from the beginning. Training allows you to gain class experience for the units in the training slots. Units assigned to the same training slot will train as a pair and gain support points. Since the pair will learn from each other, if one unit's weapon level is higher, the other unit will will earn an experience bonus based on that difference. The greater the difference, the higher the bonus. Training will consume training points. Training points will be refilled to the maximum amount at the start of a new chapter. Awesome. Alright, if that's the case... who needs... the most? Okay, so this is purely for class then. If this is purely for class... Okay, so I can switch. Armored Lord. Let's finish up this one. And then we'll train up Caspar. Fighter, right? Yes, fighter. Interesting. Looks like I can train both of these people. I bet I can train all 3 groups. It's worth a shot. Okay. And then we also want... Let's do Linhardt. And... Dorothea? Dorothea. Okay. Confirm that. Begin training.
Where one struggles, 2 often prevail.
Okay. That's a lot of class experience.
What a fascinating power.
Can't let this power go unused.
This power will serve me in the times to come.
This is quite fascinating.
Only thorns left on this rose.
Okay. Okay, so he's stuck there. In that case, place this with Hubert and Monica. Sorry if this is boring, everyone. It's just part of the game. Begin training.
We must work together and improve.
Hey, anything that makes me stronger.
I imagine this will serve me well.
I'll surely put this to good use.
There must be more to this.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. Now these 2 are maxed out. Natsumi and Petra. There.
Where one struggles, 2 often prevail.
Not that there's any point in me getting stronger.
One step at a time. A new power is now being mine.
Okie doke.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Ah, okay. So if I master the class, then I can get to another class. New class.
All is done for the sake of power.
Upgrade him to Cavalier.
Gaze upon my splendid finery.
Darn it. He still hasn't said the line, I am Ferdinand von Ayer. I want the line.
Well, don't I look splendid?
Oh my god, he has 6 gauntlets. What the hell are you, Casvar? He's a 6-armed freak, that's true.
Guess I'll have to learn something new.
Petra, yep. Upgrade to Thief.
A new challenge that will be overcome.
How many of these do I have left? Doesn't look like any.
See how you do.
Well, if that's the case, let's go to the item shopkeeper and get some more intermediate seals.
I carry a little of everything here. You've got an eye for quality, friend.
Get all 5.
Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, I used up all the seals.
Work you into shape.
Okay, she is leveling up already. Monica. She's maxed out her class already, so she goes to Mage.
My love comes in many forms.
Your love comes in many forms? Wait, what? Okay.
With proper training, you'll be unstoppable.
Oh, interesting. You can build up the facility eventually. But we don't have any building materials, so... I'm gonna go ahead and save, because that was a lot of stuff that we did in the camp. And then I am going to be right back because I have been going for about 2 hours without taking a break. I need some water, some stretching, and to use the bathroom. So, see you soon. Okay, I am hydrated, and I am ready to keep going. Off to the strategist we go. I'm responsible for doling out our marching orders. Give me a shout if you want to deploy for battle. Okay.
Which battlefield are you headed to?
From the war map, you can select... Excuse me, my voice. From the war map, you can select a battlefield to deploy to. Blue regions already captured. Red regions available to be captured. Winning a battle will capture that region and make any neighboring regions accessible as well. You can also deploy again to territories that are already captured from the war map. Okay, so that's the grinding mechanic then. Each chapter contains multiple battles. Main quest, the final battle of that chapter, side quest, other battles along the way. Achieve victory in the main quest to advance the story. Main quests and side quests will display differently on the war map. Okay, so this is the grinding aspect of the game that we finally unlocked. I just spilled water all over myself. Whoops. Let me wipe that off of my controller and my pants. Good lord, it got everywhere. Alright. I'm dry now. Oh, it even displays what's in here. I like this already. It probably means we're going to get fewer chapters, but it's pretty cool. House Burgundy of the Alliance has sided with the Central Church and is blocking the Empire's advance. Defeat their forces and break through. Yep. Rout the enemy. Okay. Flight route. I don't have any flying units though, so that's gonna suck for me. Hang on. Still more water. Okay. I don't get a choice to deploy me, so my character is definitely going to get over-leveled as the story progresses. Lance, 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 bow, axe, more bows. You go up there. Lots of bows. Okay. Let's go Linhart and Ferdinand. Or rather Ferdinand first. And then we can either go... We can go Linhart. Oh, it even displays right there. Okay. Let's give Bernadetta a shake. Because I don't really see any, Oh, I can use someone other than myself. Finally. gonna try and... Oh, Caspar, that's right.
Put me in there and watch our enemies fly.
Alright. From Chapter 4 onward, you can use 2-player split during screen during battle. Oh, that's for if you want to play local co-op. I'm not doing that. Alright. Fight. Yes, begin the battle.
Let's do this. None will stand between us and the bright new future.
And the bright new future. Sorry, I cut you off.
No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
Bernadetta.
There's not a question of can. Only a matter of leave this to me.
It's Birdie's time to shine. You need some backup?
Chirayan Vision.
I'll take the front.
A fight here gets over.
You must be more careful. There's nothing we can do for you once you're dead.
If playing in classic mode... Yeah, we're not playing in classic mode because I was not sure that... Here's the thing. My biggest problem with classic mode is that I already play to not lose units in the first place, and I already play as if in my mind I'm in classic mode because I come from the older Fire Emblem games, so I might as well just play casual in case I run across a battle that I can't do it in.
Face my comrades after this.
Okay, if Edelgard did that,
Go. No mistakes.
take out
They
this
must
person
look
too.
just more bitter than blackest coffee. How does that please you?
Drive them straight into their graves!
It's not over.
A monk. Okay. Who are you? You're just getting attacked? Okay, Edelgard can handle that.
Sorry to trouble you, but I could use a hand.
Protect the monk while they recruit the Myrmidon.
Retreat! Did you all see how marvelous I was?
Yeah, right! Got you!
Gotcha!
Looks like you got one tough fight on your hands. Still in the fight.
We can overcome any hardship, including this one.
Fight like this. I'm bleeding all over the place.
Did you see that? I really am the best.
Had I known there would be more axe wielders showing up, I would have come out here.
I'll use this strength to perform mighty deeds. Someone wants to die. It's over!
All would be lost if I were to die here.
Sorry, but I gotta fall back.
I'll help in what small way I can.
Gotcha. Hey, that's my line. Okay.
So, what should I be doing again? Sure, let's try it.
Okay, I am going to
Birdie's time to shine.
take control of you.
This goes okay. Are you sure?
I shall never back down.
Looks like you got one tough fight on your hands.
I'm not sure how I was supposed to get rid of them all in time to beat that mission.
Here I go. No mistakes. They must learn who they're up against.
There's not a question of can. Only leave this time.
Ice magic.
If you...
Interesting.
Wait, it's ours? I did it, everybody! Not today!
I make my own luck.
I can't even see. There's just so many particles.
You shall pay for this. You hear?
Here I go. They must learn who they're up against.
Okay, Bernadetta is gonna go help Caspar.
There's not a question of can, only a matter of will. Leave this to me.
Yeah, right.
Did not think I was careless.
Okay, gotta get over there and help
Seems like fighting's all I do
Ferdinand.
these days.
Billy Kametz, you will not be allowed to die in the game world.
You got this, Bernie.
I'm bringing it down. Success was to be expected.
Get back! Bernie prevails! Pretty good, huh?
Okay, heal.
How can I face my comrades after this?
Here I go. They must learn who they're up against.
There's not a question of can, only a matter of will. My will is theirs.
Okay, Caspar.
What should I be doing again? Sure, let's...
Bernie's unstoppable.
Where did that come from? Not to imply I expected any less.
Noble does not know the meaning of the word surrender.
Got it.
Time to make a name for ourselves.
Defeat the fighter and claim victory. Okay.
There's not a question of can, only a matter of will.
Okay, so we have Iron Axe people.
My will is theirs.
So, what should I do? I'll back you up. Hang on.
Here I go. No mistakes.
You go take out the stronghold
They
captain.
must learn who...
And then I'll keep Bernie in... I'll keep controlling Bernie to back them up.
I'm bringing it down.
Still in the fight. Let's do this.
Gotcha.
Seems like fighting's all I do these days. All this work makes me want to take a break.
Juggle! Juggle! Jesus, so many arrows! It's so ridiculous!
The war may rage on, but let us delight in our victory this day.
This game does look better than the original Fire Emblem Warriors. It feels better than the original Fire Emblem Warriors because you actually
outwit even death.
You actually have to have endurance in order to take out these enemies. It's not like an easy stomp fest like the original Warriors was. Even on normal. But the AI is still pretty bad. And I think I should have done this on hard.
I will take all the strength I can get.
I just can't seem to get an S on completion time.
Wow, I did it! Seems like fighting's all I do these days.
Mastered?
Who knew this power slept within?
Not that there's any point in me getting stronger.
Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ten strategy resources. Capture regions on the war map to acquire strategy resources. Strategy resources are required for using strategies during the main quest of each chapter. Any leftover strategy resources will not carry over into the next chapter. Interesting.
The Imperial Army has invaded Burgundy, and will reach Garreg Mach within the month. With no way to stop their advance, we must ready ourselves for a siege.
We sent the bulk of the knights away last month, after the Western Church occupied one of our sacred sites. The forces that remain are thin at best. How are we to hold the monastery with such short-handed numbers?
It is possible the Empire orchestrated that entire incident to bleed off our strength. Look at how thoroughly information about it was buried, and how quickly the Empire invaded after declaring war. It all feels carefully calculated.
I would not put it past them. If they bring war to our doorstep, they will want us on the worst footing possible. If the tides turn against us, we may have to abandon Garreg Mach.
Never!
Edelgard is already using the Southern Church to erode our legitimacy. And now she has the gall to try and remove us by force? There can be no mercy for tyrants. So help me, I would like to put her entire army to the sword myself.
Is it truly too late to prevent bloodshed, Lady Rhea? Edelgard must have her reasons for doing this.
If so, they elude me. The woman seems to consider our church's very existence an abomination. Yet she has gone to the trouble of reviving the Southern Church, which implies she does not mean to destroy the faith outright. Perhaps Garreg Mach is the true prize she seeks. Or worse, this entire invasion could merely be a precursor to conquering all of Fodlan.
Her purpose matters not. Our charge is to defend the monastery at all costs. I took an oath. I swore I would never again suffer the boots of thieves to sully this land.
Rhea.
It is a low form of comedy we find ourselves engaged in this day. To think the descendants of their empire will be the first to invade Garreg Mach.
All the more reason to prevent it. I care not if we shared blood countless generations ago. I will not permit anyone to defile Mother's resting place.
Complete a side quest to unlock surveying spots in that area. Survey them to receive all kinds of rewards. Types of surveying spots and rewards. Simply visiting the spot grants the reward. You must pay to receive the reward. Your choice determines the reward. Conditions must be met in order to survey the spot. Survey every spot. Okay. A civilian house that managed to escape the battle unscathed. A civilian who was unharmed wants to thank you somehow.
Okay.
Just the okay. I owe you my life. Okay. Okay. Take this as a token of my gratitude. Floral adornment. A stronghold that was captured in a previous battle. You found some hidden treasure within a crumbled wall. Interesting. Oh, and if I want to get the mace, I have to do an S rank of that mission. I see. Seems the residents fled somewhere. They left some useful items behind. You've earned rewards for surveying the regions you've captured. Return to camp to claim them.
Do you have a moment?
Truth be told, we don't have enough hands to help with the army's less urgent tasks.
Would you do something for me?
We're asking around for volunteers, but I would greatly appreciate it if you pitched in as well. Go and visit Chore Master when you want to volunteer. Chore Master? They're really going all out with this. I'm looking for volunteers to help around the camp. We all need to chip in to make life here as pleasant as possible. You can volunteer around camp alongside 2 allies to raise support points and morale. There are many different volunteer tasks, and your allies have their own strengths and weaknesses regarding them. Choose a volunteer task that your allies are ideal for, and you'll likely receive a higher rank, and in turn, more support points. Of the activities, volunteering allows allies beside yourself to gain the most support points with one another. You'll receive renown as a reward and gift items if you achieve the highest rank.
Care to make yourself useful?
Manage the pantry, maintain equipment, organize documents, run a street stall. And I have 3 of these that I can help with. Quack! Hello, Erica. Welcome to the 3rd hour of the stream today. Let's organize documents.
I've got nothing to worry about with the 2 of you on the job.
There's something to be said for working here with everyone else. Don't you think, Hubert?
Quite so. I will not refuse any situation I can twist to my advantage.
Nice. Edelgard and Hubert's support points increase slightly. You attain 1 renown. Nice. Unselfish volunteer. Gaining support points will deepen bonds between allies and raise their support level. When a support conversation is available, viewing it will raise the support level for those units. A higher support level will lead to beneficial effects when assigning that unit as your adjutant in battle. While assigned as adjutants, the adjutant attack gauge will fill quicker, the adjutant guard gauge will fill quicker. Partner specials will be more powerful. Unique support and tactical abilities will be shared. Okay. Interaction and gifts can boost an ally's morale. The more full the morale gauge, the more damage they will deal to enemies. If a unit's HP reaches 0 during battle, their morale will go down 1 tier. Progressing to the next chapter will reset morale to its initial state. When you volunteer, you'll receive renown based on your results. Renown can be exchanged in your personal quarters for all sorts of items.
Yay!
I see you finished everything. Thanks so much. I bet you're tired after all that work. Why not take a break at the mess hall?
Oh!
In that case, allow me to accompany you. I'm feeling rather peckish myself. You've been a mercenary for quite some time, correct? Do you have any particular preferences when it comes to army meals? Well, I usually make my own food, so...
What?
How fascinating. I absolutely must try one of your culinary creations. Worry not, the army has ingredients you can use. Cook a meal for an ally. I have no idea what anyone is going to like. In the mess hall, you can cook for your allies and eat with them. You can increase the dishes available through the facility effects and by acquiring recipes. Each dish comes with unique meal effects. Meal effects, blah 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 blah. You can select 2 meal companions. The morale and support points will increase. Your allies have their own preference when it comes to food. Serving them a favorite dish will increase the support points gained. Okay, it's gonna tell me, thank goodness. Dishes are also given a cooking rank based on how well they were prepared. The higher the rank, the more support points you will receive.
Hunger is the true enemy.
Grilled herring. Warrior gates feel slightly faster. Let's go with grilled herring. Yep, these two, Ferdinand and Petra. They really went all out with this game.
Yeah, the flavor's not really there. Might want to try something different next time.
No. Did you really? Oh, you did. This is my absolute favorite. Thank you.
This surprise pleases me. How did you know I would have enjoyment of this?
Nice. Okay, so those are activity points. You may also gain activity points by capturing regions and searching surveying points on the war map. Okay. To the max at the start of a new chapter. Alright.
Impressive.
I'm astounded you cooked this extraordinary meal with those ingredients, and using such humble tools. It would be a lovely gesture if you cooked for the others as well. Exchanging gifts with trusted friends is quite wonderful, would you not agree? If I recall, you acquired some trinkets on the battlefield. Perhaps you could give them to someone as a gift. That's true. Maybe I should give something to Edelgard. You can give gifts to allies in camp to raise support points and morale. Allies have preferences when it comes to gifts. Giving them a gift they like will naturally grant more support points. Gifts are mainly purchased from the item shop. Oh my gosh, so many tutorials after this first side quest. Earning support points to strengthen bonds between allies will trigger support conversations. Viewing support conversations will raise the support level of the units involved. You can view support conversations by selecting the appropriate command for talking to an ally, or by selecting support info from the pause menu. New support conversation available. Nice.
Hey there, Petra. Off to train? I'll join you.
That would give me much joy. An opponent with toughness will keep me upon my toes.
You mean me? Nah, you're way tougher than I am. Also, aren't you a queen now? I didn't realize dawn to dusk training was part of the Brigid Royal Regimen.
I have not become queen yet, but there is an understanding that it will happen. And yes, in Brigid, royalty must have knowledge of fighting. I mean, we must know how to fight. To be leading our people, a ruler must have more strength than any other. They must be the hardest to kill. My people are expecting this of me.
So it's the toughest person calling the shots, huh? I love it. What could possibly go wrong?
This is how it is meant to be working. But such things do not always go with smoothness. Mercenaries are always seeking strength too, correct?
That's true. A merc lives and dies by the sword. If you're not better than the next opponent you face, they'll be the last one you face.
Yes, dying is without productivity. But it gives me surprise that you do not avoid jobs of danger. A queen must be facing any wolf who comes to her door. But you can have pickiness when selecting fights.
Depends on how much food you can put on the table that week. Most of us mercs barely scrape by hand to mouth. End of the day, it's just business. Some mercs will take the coin and blow town, and some employers are more than happy to hang us all out to dry. I guess you don't have a lot of sellswords in Brigid, huh?
Correct. We do not require the selling of swords. In Brigid, everyone is a hunter. Everyone is a fisher. Everyone is a warrior. There is no need to be hiring, or to be hired.
That sounds incredible. In a place like that, nobody'd have to risk their life just to get a bite to eat.
Your words give me great happiness. I will always be full of pride for Brigid.
All right then. Now, I can either help with chores again, or I can do a meal. Oh, that's right. I need to give something to... What does she even like? Doesn't really say. What items do I have then? Appreciated by most ladies and those who like gardening. Appreciated by everyone. Hello, Natsumi. Can I help you? Oh, it'll tell you what they like.
I appreciate this.
Well, that sure kept me busy. Maybe we should head out to the next battle soon. Hang on.
Well, how'd it go? Any result's a good result.
Go to Chore Master.
Care to make yourself useful?
Manage the pantry.
Counting on you both.
And you need me for this? Are you sure? I'll do the best I can.
Nice.
We all must do our fair share.
Expert mood maker.
Well, how'd it go? Any result's a good result.
Alrighty then. Ah, right. Facility info. An area of the camp. Group bonds, sharing meals, volunteering. Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna want that marketplace as soon as possible. So I'm gonna focus on the marketplace as we get more
Which
materials.
battlefield are you headed to?
Okay. None of them can be none of them can be routed. Sometimes units who didn't participate in the last battle will start to feel energized. Energized units who are deployed to battle will gain bonus experience points. Interesting. Energized units will receive... Yeah, you just said that. On the battle results screen, all units sent out will receive bonus experience based on the number of energized units that were deployed. After a battle is won, units will no longer feel energized. There's so much to this game, holy fuck. Okay, support points. General with an adjutant assigned, triggering a partner special with healing an ally with magic. Okay. There's a lot of sword users, so I should not bring any axe users this time. Oh, maybe there's some need for axes. Steel tome. Okay, there will be some need for axes. Change unit. Let's see here. I don't know how it tells me that they're energized. Oh, the blue rings. The blue rings mean that they're energized. Okay. What's up here? Iron Lance. Iron Lance.
Time to go to work.
I'm going to doze off. I just know it.
Okay. There's something ironic about Linhardt being energized. There just is. Oh, Petra is energized. I see. Okay.
This war is ours to be won.
Ferdinand, you're there. Oh, really? There's pugilists, I see. Okay, if there's pugilists... Sorry about that, I was being asked if I wanted waffles. Okay, you know what, let's go with Petra. And do I have anything in the convoy? Don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I got anything that I need to keep from the convoy. Alright. Let's get going.
Let's earn our keep.
We must use swiftness to reach our ally in time.
There's not a question of can. Only a matter of leave this to me.
Begin.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Sign as adjutant.
The sky
Control.
spirit watches over me.
So, what should I be doing again? Sure, let's try it.
I'm swapping in.
Together, we will turn this disadvantage back in our favor.
We're in bad shape over here.
Place down before you have time to strap your armor on.
Just wait.
Oh my god!
That wasn't so bad.
This place is becoming ours.
There's not a question of can. Leave this to me.
Let's get started.
Yep, on my way.
Right on.
Stronghold secured.
I got this.
Not yet.
Gotcha.
For Bridget, I find strength to carry on.
A rousing success.
Okay.
So, what should I be doing again? Sure, let's try it.
Leave this to me. I am your man.
Escort the mage and their allies to the first ballista station.
Use this stronghold well.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
Okay, you two attack there.
So, what should I be doing? This way? I'm on it.
Open the chest. And then I'm gonna keep attacking.
So this is defeat. I'm sorry.
Okay, Caspar.
So, what should I be doing again? Sure, let's try it.
Attack. And then Petra, go
Sky Spirit
attack.
watches over me.
Here I raise the banner of the Empire. Wait. It's not over. I have you.
Gotcha.
I will take all the strength I can get. I'm sorry. We weren't strong enough. No, not yet. I'm sorry. We weren't strong enough.
I have finished with great success.
Wounds are severe. I have to fall back. Submit!
Protected the mages.
Perfect rescue.
Okay. Enemies defeated C. Oh my.
Yeah, not bad.
And I'll keep getting stronger too.
I will not stop until I achieve greatness. I will take all the strength I can.
Okay. 2 stars in Flugel.
This'll help me break new boundaries.
Dual Wielder's Ploy. New bow. New stat up. Okay. Training points recovered. 10 strategy resources. New camp functions are available. On higher difficulties, you face higher level enemies, but also receive better rewards from battles. You can adjust the difficulty of the game from the... Oh! We can actually go higher.
Might I borrow you?
Let's do that straight away. Hard. Yes. We're back up. We're up to hard now. Do you recall gathering materials in the last battle? We would like to put them to good use.
Don't let me down.
I believe they can serve to further expand our facilities in this camp. The facilities master can assist you if you wish to expand a facility. Finish everything you need to do at camp. Oh! ZR apparently causes you to go... It causes you to go to the next battle, or go to the battle map straight away. Facilities Master! You can exchange materials to expand our facilities here. I hope to see you make many improvements so we're fully prepared for battle. We'll also raise your camp level, which will increase the base value of your training points and activity points. Interesting, okay. You can obtain resources, blah 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 blah.
Allow me to assist with any matters regarding the facilities.
Buy basic cooking utensils. Expand merchant network. Install a training dummy. Let's expand the merchant network first. Like I was saying. Command the merchants to expand the distribution network around the camp, slightly increasing the type of gifts that can be bought. Oh, okay, so these are the amount of effects that you've purchased so far. That can be used by a variety of classes. Increases training slots to 4. I definitely need that. Okay, I don't have any more crude building materials.
Let me know if I may be of further service.
You can survey the regions you've conquered to acquire materials for facility expansion. If you find yourself marching someplace new, make sure you do a survey once you've conquered it. Expanding our facilities like that will make sure we're ready for whatever the next battle throws at us. Okay.
Well, how'd it go?
I thought you said I had awards.
Any result's a good result.
Okay, down to training instructor. We have some training to do.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
Okay, Bernadetta. You can level up to Archer now. Or rather, yes, Archer.
Babe, I just want to go home.
Yes. Okay, time to train. I could raise Bernadetta up, but I think I'd be better suited to raising Caspar up. And then Monica... I want you to train with Linhardt, since Linhardt is lagging behind. And then Yuritsa, as well as Ferdinand. Begin training.
Just think of what we might accomplish in the next battle.
Great.
Hey, anything that makes me stronger.
Time to work you. With proper training, you'll be unstoppable.
Unit information. It's been a while since I've checked this, so... Increases the attack range of Azura and Flugel class actions. Interesting. When an axe is is equipped, increases damage to enemies by 10%. Spirited Seas. Slightly restores the warrior gauge upon seizing a stronghold. Pomp and Circumstance. Increases luck and charisma by 5. Causes enemies that are guarding to nonetheless sustain 50% of calculated damage. Imbue attacks with fire. Nice. Restores HP to surrounding allies when an enemy commander is defeated. That's also nice. 30% to recover own HP when landing a strong attack. Okay. Is the active unit or an adjutant increases the fill? Okay. Oh. What is Backbone? This is the unit's chance of getting knocked back by attacks. I see. Name drop. Name drop is an actual skill. Slightly restores the awakening gauge with each enemy commander defeated. It's a shame that he hasn't said I am Ferdinand von Eyre yet. Class abilities. Heal. Grants the unit heal, or increases the spell's potency if already learned. Okay, Convoy. Equip the better bow. Ah, here's where I can equip. I think, though, that I'm going to take a small break, and then I might be back with everyone a little bit later. You know what? No. Now that I know that we can start grinding, I'm probably going to start grinding off camera, and then we're finally at a place where I can play this game and I can go up. I can boot up the words Nat. I can boot up a stream whenever I'm gonna advance the main story. But it's really starting to get hot in my room, so... Proceed to the war map, yes. You visited a home in the area. The man who lives there needs help.
Could use the help.
I want to evacuate, but I don't have enough gold to cover the travel expenses. If you lend me a hand, I'm willing to give you something in return. Yeah, sure. More building materials. A watchtower near the battlefield. You rescued some Imperial armored infantry. It is now possible to use the impregnable wall strategy. Thank you. We will do our best to repay the favor.
Yes.
Good thing we saved them. With the extra troops, we now have more strategies at our disposal. Strategies will sometimes be added based on information acquired from a surveying spot. Added strategies will be available to select on the battle prep screen for the main quest. Okay, let's go ahead and expand one of our facilities while we're here.
Allow me to assist with any matters regarding the facilities.
Buy new cooking utensils to use in the kitchen. Slightly expands the number of dishes you can cook. Culinary Dabbler.
Let me know if I may be of further service.
Yes. Defeat the soldiers and other enemies. Defeat conditions, none. Tome users. Axe, 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 lance, and lance. Okay. Who's energized? Hubert is energized. Linhart is not energized, but Linhart
I'm going
needs...
to doze off. I just know it.
Shut up, Linhart. We don't need Edelgard. Could use some Dorothea.
Send a flower to battle and watch it bloom.
Yep, this works. Fight.
We will be making it through this.
I must live through this, no matter what.
Do you want me to lay an ambush?
Defeat the soldier and their allies. Okay.
So, what should I be doing again?
I love that.
Sure, let's try it.
Leave this one to me.
Sign
This'll
is
be
adjutant.
easy with both of us.
Oh, if I must. Leave this to me.
Woo! Got that one down.
No matter what, I will not misplace my heart. Position secure. You are mine!
Knowing when to retreat is a vital strategy.
Gotcha.
No holding back.
This is my problem with mages in the Warriors games, is that they don't really have a place. The only thing they're really good at is handling armored mages, and that's it.
So, what should I be doing? Sure, let's try it.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
Okay, send her there. And assign adjutant.
Know what they say about play.
Leave this one to me. This'll be easy with both of us.
Oh, if I must. This should be easy if we work together.
So, what should I be doing again?
Playing with fire.
Sure, this'll be amazing.
We cannot allow the battle to continue trending this way.
We've got an emergency! Send backup!
Iron axe, iron axe.
Begin. The Sky Spirit watches over me.
Over.
The enemy's stronghold will be ours.
So long!
Bend the knee!
A taste more bitter than blackest coffee.
That was easy.
Now, we go on the offensive!
So, What should I... Sure, let's try it.
Now I'm starting to feel the pressure. Okay,
The Sky Spirit watches. I was lacking caution.
I'll take this place down before you have time to strap your armor on.
Assistance, please. Attack on them, Petra. Yes, I will be joining you. You are mine. Farewell. Just in case.
Knowing when to retreat is a vital strategy.
You shall pay for this. You hear?
Every life, equally fragile.
okay.
That's when I see the great things you're doing.
You can't let it end like this.
You shall pay for this. You hear? I'm sorry. We weren't strong enough.
Oh my god!
I'm getting better, but at what cost?
Sorry, but I gotta fall back.
We shall provide support. No need to fret.
It's not over.
So this is defeat. I'm sorry. Wide open.
It's not over.
Uh-oh.
Stay out of my way. Let us approach this methodically.
Said it, huh?
We shall provide support.
Okay. Did I complete the secondary objective then? I think I did. Oop.
One step closer to victory.
Okay, Caspar?
So, what should I be doing again? Sure, let...
Gotcha. Interesting, okay.
Swapping in.
Gotcha.
For Bridget, I find strength to carry on.
All would be lost if I were to die here. I swear, this is not my fault!
Gotcha. I need to find a different victory phrase. I'm so sorry.
So, what should I be doing again? Sure, let's try it.
Take that out.
I am only just beginning to fight.
You fight brilliantly, Petra. It's like you're gliding on air out there.
I will not stand for this.
In the name of Bridget!
Awakening Cage! Filled with badass music. Jeez! No wonder it takes so long to build up that awakening gauge.
I'm getting better, but at what cost?
This place is becoming ours.
Got a new weapon, forge count up.
Let's dazzle them, Petra. I can do this.
Can I skip this? Because my awakening gauge ran out right. My awakening gauge ran out right when there were no enemies nearby. That was embarrassing. Okay. Wait. Take out the axe wielder with Petra.
Let's dazzle them, Petra.
Yes, I will be joining you. Away! Farewell!
I'll
takeover.
This'll no way I'm running from this.
Just do. Can't you sleep?
I've seen Nosferatu tanking is a thing in this game too.
It is pointless to resist.
We'll see about that.
Begin. The skies.
Ooh! That looks like it would hurt. You're a Wyvern Knight! How are you tanking these hits?
Counting on you, Linhardt.
You know better than to expect much. This is exhausting.
I'll use this strength to perform mighty deeds.
Ooh! 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 Yikes! No! Ow! Ow! Nope, I need to leave.
This will do.
Nope!
I've gained control of the stronghold.
It's no use. We can't gain any ground.
I have finished with great success.
You're certainly more threatening than you were in Three Houses. Said it.
I'm the star now.
Woo!
Peace awaits us. I know it does.
Whew! He was tanky! Battle rank B.
No matter what, I will not misplace my heart.
Yeah, about that, it was kinda difficult.
Witness Brigid pride. I work to grow.
Venom Bow, Iron Gauntlets +5. Iron Gauntlets. Oy vey. Activity points recovered. Once you complete the main quest of a chapter, the story will progress to the next chapter and you will no longer be able to survey the current chapter's surveying spots. Any leftover training points or activity points cannot be carried over to the next chapter. Make sure you've done everything you want to do before deploying for the chapter's main quest. The merchant you rescued from a bandit attack would like to thank you with some goods. You saved my life. Feel free to take one of these as my thanks. Strength ring or speed ring? Strength ring. You rescued a scout who had completed their mission and gained information. I've collected plenty of information. I do hope that you find it useful.
Yes.
Yes, that information seems to be accurate. Now we can take the enemy by surprise. You obtained the following strategic ability, Blaze. You escorted refugees to a safe location and got some materials in return.
I see.
I owe you my life. Take this as a token of my gratitude. Okay. Oh.
Allow me to assist with any matters regarding the facilities.
Am I really not able to use crude building materials for anything else yet?
If I may be of further service.
Oh, gosh.
Hunger is the true enemy.
Grilled beast meat. Perfect.
Hey, this is great. I bet anyone would love this stuff.
Oh, this looks great. I'm gonna demolish this puppy for sure.
Oh, but this is just to die for. It's my favorite, really.
Point points increase significantly.
Come back whenever you're hungry.
Okay. Before I advance, I didn't realize how long each of these chapters was going to be. This might be a fairly long game. We've already spent 6 hours and we're still on chapter 4. Especially since the demo covered the first 3 chapters. So if I want a mace, an intermediate seal, and a bullion. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and call the stream here. Mostly because I want to see about S-ranking these missions, but I am also super tired and in need of a break. It is getting very hot over here. It's currently 96 outside, and I think it's supposed to get up to a little bit higher than that. So I am gonna go ahead and cool down and take a rest while I try to S-rank these. And then I'll announce another stream for when we get to the main quest. I will say this. The stream tomorrow is still going to be our normal Banjo-Tooie and Batman. Because I don't want to wear myself out on this game and just overabundance it on my Twitch channel. Anyway, thank you all for joining, everyone who tuned in. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to watch this, the VOD will be up on Twitch for the first 2 weeks, and then YouTube in... I don't know about the YouTube for these, because I'm going to be doing more than my usual streams, so they might go up. They might go up in like a week for YouTube. Anyway, see you all later. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.